When I was around the age of 7, my mom decided to go back to nursing school. She wanted to get a degree as a registered nurse, and although she may not know it, her decision not only made a huge impact on her life, but on my life as well. Ever since she went from a dental hygienist to registered nurse, I've had a strong connection to the medical field. That's a picture of my mom, and there's little me, my mom in her nursing outfit, and me when I was around 7 or 8. Yep, there's my mom, there's me, love. And she, every day after her classes and after I was done with school, she'd come home and she'd study for any tests or do any homework she had. That's her sitting at the counter. And I, which I'll appear soon, I would sit close to her and ask her all the questions about her textbooks and what she was writing down. And every night doing this kind of made me develop a love for all things medical. And ever since the day someone asked me what I wanted to be when I grow up, I've always had an answer that corresponded with a job in the medical field. And really from day one, I've had the same goal of being involved in the medical field, and obviously I've changed image-wise, but the idea of helping people and being involved in medicine has always been very appealing to me. That was supposed to be a brain, but I don't know if it was very accurate. Around age 11, when I started middle school, I remember wanting to be involved in radiology after hearing my parents talk about it one night. And my interest in radiology stood for a couple of years, but once I entered high school, my perceived career choice shifted to the dental field, and more specifically, wait for it, endodontistry. And I never decided to pursue my interest in radiology after doing some research on the subject and learning that radiology wasn't as hands-on, and I didn't want to look at x-rays all day, basically. During my junior year of high school, I participated in a week-long internship where I shadowed an endodontist for a week with the same oral surgery office that my mom worked with as a dental hygienist. My dream of becoming an endodontist formed very fast, and it was a really interesting experience, even though I fainted the first day. This dream faded quite quickly after I did some more research about endodontistry and dental school in general. Once I discovered that I would need 12 more years of education, my ideal job turned into something that sounded more likely to turn into a chore after a few years. And this is what went on in my head. Basically dead after 12 years of school. I can't even imagine doing that. I felt like I had to go back to square one after my realization that I may not want to be in school for 8 more years. I felt as if I was left at a standstill with my career decision for a couple months after my grapple with reality, and I found myself less excited and more overwhelmed by the concept of the real world. I had no idea what I wanted to do, and this was the case for a couple months until I went to get ice cream with a few of my friends senior year of high school, and I'm talking to them about what they wanted to do with their lives, talking about ideal majors, desired accomplishments for the future, and they both seemed like they knew exactly what they wanted to do with their lives and what they wanted to major in, what they were interested in. And I was just kind of sitting there like, I have no idea what I want to do. I thought I did, but there were so many things going on in my head that I just had no idea. And that feeling all kind of went away in an instant when my friend Jack suggested that I get involved in the field of psychiatry. And he talked to me about how he'd always thought that I had a knack for reading people and giving good advice. And after thinking about this suggestion, I realized that he may have had a point. And I'll never forget that moment in my life. And my interest interest in psychiatry began with Jack's career suggestion, and from there it grew immensely. From the moment Jack suggested this and that I pursue psychiatry, my career choice has yet to waver or change, even in the slightest. When I think about what psychiatry really is, it's a person who isn't feeling the best and who needs to seek treatment, and the treatment that the psychiatrist gives them is a person to talk to, really, to figure out what's wrong with them, and basically to diagnose it as something and prescribe medicine for them. And once this person acquires the medicine, which is what that is supposed to be, the process hopefully looks a little something like this, where over not necessarily a week, but in a short amount of time, they become happier. I've never had one subject that I feel very confident in. I've always been satisfactory in almost everything I do in school. And declaring a major in health sciences with a pre-medicine focus right when I got to college and thinking I knew what I wanted to do was a bit of a shot in the dark, honestly, because I had no background in the subject. I had done little to no research on the topic, and I tried not to overthink everything and let my instincts lead the way. I was basically jumping into life, and it felt pretty good, honestly. The spirits will lift up those young men you provoke. The first class that I signed up for as a freshman was Psychology 101, and this was one of the most interesting classes that I've ever taken in my entire life, and right away I knew that it was something that I wanted to pursue in life. And this kind of brings us to the end. I'm not graduating right now, obviously, but where I see myself when I graduate is a person who's developed a love for psychiatry. And I feel like it's in a field that I'll never get tired of. Humans will always need help, the human brain will never stop developing, and I doubt my love for helping others will ever cease to exist. I see myself doing it for the rest of my life, and I'm excited to pursue my passion as a career someday in the future. The end.